Turn the other way.
You're all right. You're fine. You're fine.
Excuse me, Casey. Can I get any kind of medical update after that match?
Surely got my neck.
I'm sorry, I haven't fully evaluated her yet.
From now on, this is a new NXT. Get used to it.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the War Report. I'm your host, Murjani. Of course, I'm always joined by Cyrus. You're probably up all night listening to the Drake mixtape, but we're not even gonna.
I only got 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, we're not even gonna mess around. We're gonna get right into it. There were 2 wrestling shows that happened. One happened on TNT. One happened on USA Network. Of course, it's AEW and NXT. We're jump right into NXT first.
Yeah, big news.
We're going to start with Candice LeRae and Casey Canizaro. Sorry if I got that last name wrong. But Candice has new music. She is something like the I forgot the Pixie, like the evil stepsister of the Pixie. I know that the evil stepsister is like a new finishing move. But I thought it was kind of cool that Johnny did the ring entrance for her. She's got a new look. I know that everybody's kind of said on like Twitter and stuff of the Casey Small. I think that's kind of obvious. But Candice, decisive win. Instead of going for the Gargano escape, she's got that new curb stomp, which looked pretty brutal. And I think that this was a pretty good way for her to set for her new heel character. As she says, is like the new era in NXT. Even though we've heard that like 18,000 times by various people. But good on Candice.
I believe the finisher is it's a Wicked Stepsister, and I believe it's paying homage to Super Dragon from PWG. So I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty cool. I may be wrong, but if so, I think that's really cool.
Yep. And going into that, we had another women's match. We had Charlotte versus Mia Yim, which I thought it was pretty good. They built on that backstory that they had the initial match about 5 years ago. Mia stood toe-to-toe with Charlotte. Charlotte was... I mean, like, she was... The thing that I was happy that of her going to win at the NXT Championship and then kind of her going to NXT is basically her having these type of matches with new people, not seeing her fight Becky about 18 times. It's a good matchup. She won, obviously. I don't think Mia was going to win, but I think it did good with Mia in defeat. And, of course, next week, you're going to have the match with Io, which I think is going to be a 5-star match. It should be. It's going to be a lot of moonsaults.
Mia Yim, she finally, she got a good championship match under her belt. I think everybody can get the Shayna match out of their taste out of their mouth. I thought this match was really great. Some people said that like Charlotte like no-sold her finisher, and it was just like Charlotte clearly reacted. Like, yeah, she probably didn't fall over, but like it's whatever. It's Charlotte. There's like there's levels to this shit, man. But it was a good match overall. I really liked it. That made me slowly turn around on Mia Yim.
I think Mia has been good since that championship match with Shayna Baszler, where a lot of people were questioning her because it wasn't her best effort. But I think since that ladder match that happened, where like she got cut open in that ladder match, I think that she's really she's really picked it up, and I'm not sure where she goes. Like maybe like she's still kind of like pals around in NXT for a little bit, but Maybe she can move to a Raw. Maybe she can move to a SmackDown. We'll see.
Yeah, anything's possible in this era. We've seen like 17 soft call-ups so far.
Yeah, it's kind of, since everybody is in Florida, the roster situation is kind of fluid. So, you know, you can appear on Raw, you can appear on SmackDown. Everybody's recorded in the same place, so you never know. With that, you had two, I thought they were fun Cruiserweight Championship Tournament matches. First one, Swerve Scott and El Hijo del Fantasma. Good opener. I'm really liking El Hijo's work the past couple weeks. I think it's a good introduction to him, and especially pairing him with Swerve. I think the right guy won.
Yeah. And now we're getting a little more of the mask guys. You know, now they're not in the parking lot; they're finally inside the building, and I think that's very interesting. So we'll see where that goes. Most likely, I think it's gonna basically. I think it might have its climax. You know, once this whole tournament is over, but we'll see.
Yeah, obviously, security is a little bit not terrible,
non-existing.
I mean, yeah, people are getting picked up in the parking lot. People are now getting picked up in the arena. That WWE might want to work on that. So the best, I guess, the best Super Cruisers of Block B. Swerve and El Hijo are tied at 1-1, and then you got Akira Tozawa's at the top, 1-0, and then Jack Gallagher is 0-1. Second match is, of course, Drake Maverick and Tony Nese. It was a solid match. I mean, it was building Drake as kind of like the small kind of babyface guy. Of course, he got the win, and they're continuing the story on how, you know, he's fighting for his job,
for his life,
and fighting for his life. Which, I mean, I think we already went through that last week. They're kind of they're playing off that situation. I mean, some people may not like it, but some people may question that, like, if the whole story of him, like, with the layoffs and him doing that video, if it's a little insensitive. I thought it was genuine. I thought that he was genuinely laid off, and maybe this will lead to him kind of being reemployed, which is always a good thing. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, about 40 other people lost their jobs, but hey, if one person gets there.
Honestly, if he doesn't get if he doesn't get his job back after this, then I think you kind of like wasted the story here. Like, surely, you know, once the situation gets better, hopefully, you know, a lot of, you know, him and 39 other people definitely get their jobs back. Yeah, man, I'm enjoying this stuff a lot, and it is pre-taped, so I think it's very interesting. You know, they got the current banter going on.
So in that block, Jake Atlas is 1-0, Kushida's 1-0, Drake Maverick's 1-1, Tony Nese is now 0-2. Not good for Tony.
He's basically out of it.
If he basically doesn't rattle off winning the entire block now, and then get people getting some losses, he's basically out of the running. Drake Maverick's still alive. Of course you got Kushida and Atlas. The Newly Bros show. I thought I liked that there was some character stuff here. Timothy Thatcher is a real good guy, doing the straight man to Matt Riddle. Byron Saxton, of course, is nerdy. He's funny doing that too. They had some like little stuff. Studio laughter. It was kind of like you know the whole like quizzing thing. It was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. You know, Matt Riddle's hilarious.
I liked it a lot. I thought the segment was like incredibly goofy, and then, you know, once it came on, you know, the immediate reaction was just you know, kind of like sort of negative. Like, people were just like, "Oh, why are you doing like a comedy thing without the you know, why are you doing comedy without you know, the audience?" And it's just like, have you never like laughed at anything that didn't have like a studio audience? Like, just enjoy the jokes for what they are. Come on, you watch all sorts of TV all the time. But no, this is really great. I think Timothy Thatcher is doing great, picking up where kind of Pete Dunne where left off, and then Imperium came, and for the people that hated it, they were just like, thank God for Imperium. So I guess it worked. Some people got everybody got what they wanted.
Yeah, in some way, shape, or fashion, everybody got what they wanted. Barthel and Eichner is going to be. Looks like they're going to be the two that are going to challenge Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle down the line for those tag belts. Should be a good match up there. I'm not sure when they're going to do that. There's a lot of kind of muck that we have to get through for NXT, especially next week. Just to allude to next week, you got Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. That's definitely going to be a interesting match. Big old
yikes on that.
If they want to do that. Charlotte is going against Io Shirai. You got Karrion Kross, Finn Balor. He's going to address that attack on him. And then Johnny Gargano versus Dominik Dijakovic. Action-packed week. Not sure. I haven't looked at the schedule. Maybe it's taped. Maybe it's live. Because I know that AEW is starting to do live stuff next week. But it's got a TakeOver Phil next week. Should be good. Let's get back into the real show. Dexter Lumis versus Shane Thorne. Shane Thorne has blonde hair now. It's a little weird. It was.
He had blonde hair for a while now.
Oh, okay.
It's just we don't see him often, so we kind of forget.
A little weird with that vest. Yeah, Dexter Lumis rolls on, picks another win here. Mm-hmm. Surprise, surprise.
Kind of nothing. It was okay.
It was a squash match.
Yeah.
I liked how Beth Phoenix kind of sold Dexter Lumis, kind of his glassy stare and everything like that. One thing I will say is that Morrow and Beth were a little bit. I felt that they were a little bit better this episode, kind of doing commentary a little bit, because usually Morrow kind of talks over Beth. But
he definitely still was, because there was points where it kind of took me off guard. But no, I think Beth Phoenix is getting a lot better on commentary. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. Of course, like you said, there's still some points because Morrow is going to be Morrow, but I think that they're starting to work it out a little bit. Hopefully. So Keith Lee and Damian Priest. We talked about this last week. It was going to be two athletic big men going for that NXT All North American title. Keith Lee's a freak. He just is. Damian Priest, for him being so tall, really athletic. I thought that it was. Some people said that it lacked the drama, but I just thought that it was. Keith Lee showing off his power.
It felt like a good. It felt like a good back and forth match. I would say, the drama isn't there, but I think just the broken or the bruised lyrics, or just a throat injury was kind of enough, because you can really hear Keith Lee struggling to breathe. So hey man, I don't know what more people want, but it was a really good match.
Yeah, thought it was. Like I said, it's two guys, and Keith. Other than Roddy Strong or somebody like that, he's really just fought Dominik Dijakovic, Damian Priest. He's fought guys like that, kind of who try to, because there's very few people in NXT that kind of can match up Heath size wise, and to have that mix of his power and how agile he is. But Damian Priest was a good dance partner here. Of course, Keith Lee won. I don't think that he's going to lose that championship anytime soon. I think with Adam Cole kind of, them building the dream, he's been kind of the de facto, NXT stalwart champion there. I'm not really sure where Keith Lee goes with this.
So So now that he has defeated Damian Priest and kind of got all the hosses in the North American division kind of like out of here, and I'm kind of over the hoss battle thing. I'm ready to see Keith Lee fight a smaller opponent, somebody that's somebody that's faster than him, due to size and stature, because a lot of people have tried to outpower Keith Lee, but I would see somebody try to get the upper hand by being much faster than him. If Leo Rush was still around, unfortunately he got released, with the big set of releases, but I would have loved to see Keith Lee versus Leo Rush. But we'll see what happens.
I think Leo Rush would have got killed. I think Leo Rush would have.
It would have been nice to see him do his little thing where he, sonic speed, bounce off the ropes and stuff, and Keith Lee struggling to keep up.
That reminds me of shades of Kevin Nash versus Rey Mysterio Jr. in WCW. Yeah, he would get some offense in, but Nash powerbomb, boom, let's go home. Basically, I think that
that's all I need to see, baby.
You want to squash Leo Rush?
Oh shit, he was already on his way out. Apparently, damn.
Let's go over to AEW Dynamite. You had two championship tournament matches. They started with Cody and Darby Allin. Again, this is a 20-minute match. I mean, these guys work well together. Obviously, we said this ad nauseum. Mm-hmm. Darby Allin kind of fighting more methodical, going after Cody's leg. Cody being more power structured here. I think that Darby, in his latest matches, he's showing that he's basically growing as a wrestler. It's not usually the same pomp and circumstance that he usually does. He's going more technical, which I like. That finish was kind of weird.
Kind of definitely took the wind out the sails. Soon as Brandy comes out again, holding her stomach, I was just like, oh, this is getting weird.
Oh, I was talking about the roll-up pin. I was talking about basically both guys.
The match goes downhill from that point.
So I understand that they want to protect Darby and everything like that, but you set up a whole thing and storyline. Darby could come out and say you never won, you never pinned me. I think since you have some time, a few weeks before Double or Nothing 2, I think that's what they're setting it up for, because other than having a 4-week build or 3-week build to that, I don't think that you're just going to have Lance Archer and Cody kind of roaming around and basically trying to fight each other for 3 weeks. I think there's going to be some controversy there. We'll see what happens, but Darby definitely has a case. If you want to do the whole '90s WWF, let's go to the footage thing, like they did with Royal Rumbles and stuff like that, where both guys' feet touched, and something they could do that.
Yeah, it was a weird finish, but it is definitely something they can build up towards. This whole tournament, Cody's been getting kind of weird wins with starting out the tournament by pinning Shawn Spears with a figure 4, and I think getting people talking about that. They did the Darby Allin finish. It gets people talking, so I think that's really great. Darby Allin is great, but it sucks that Cody had to be the winner this time around.
Well, I think it was pretty much televised that was going to happen. Cody and Brody, Cody and Lance Archer was going to be the final. That's they were setting that up for weeks. It was cool to see that Cody did the coffin drop. That they kind of switched roles here, where Darby's kind of the more technical guy, then Cody's doing stuff the coffin drop and things like that. That was a cool role reversal a little bit. I don't know how many times you can kind of go to the well with this match. We've seen it 3 times, and Darby's kind of getting
different.
Yeah,
he's getting different.
Maybe the story that they're trying to tell is that as Darby's growing as a wrestler, when he reaches his full apex, then he's going to be able to beat Cody. If Cody happens to win the TNT championship, you can kind of do that story there where like Darby beats him for the champion down the road. You could do that. Yeah. I mean, there's ways that they could go. Kind of what we talked about with this show last week. We did have an abundance of squash matches. Wardlow being Musa. Wardlow driving a straight knee into Moose's face. Hopefully he's all right. I don't know if that really went, because it was like kind of like this inverted go to sleep. That, I mean, I don't know if they talked about it beforehand, but I'm pretty sure like Musa, if he's not concussed, he definitely dodged that bullet. Sean Spears, Baron Black. Sean Spears is doing the sharpshooter now. Apparently, he got the blessing of Bret Hart to do it. Cool. I don't really have anything else to say about that match, but Sean Spears picks up a win.
I don't need goddamn Bret Hart permission to do nothing, man. What?
Well, I mean, like, it's a commonplace wrestling tradition, I guess, to see, if it's a storied finishing maneuver, like to ask the wrestler for permission. I don't know.
All right.
Brody Lee and Marco Stunt, we knew what was going to happen there. I mean, that's like Marco Stunt was not going to beat up Brody Lee. He wasn't going to do any crazy stuff on him. It's Brody Lee in another squash match. Hopefully when they start doing this live stuff, we can kind of get back to regular matches and like getting Brody Lee some competition, because it's just been all squash matches with him.
Marco Stunt was literally squashed by Lance Archer just like a couple weeks ago, so like the effect isn't still there. I definitely think Brody Lee definitely should have. I think he just squashed somebody more beloved. I know there's like no crowd here, and you kind of don't want to waste it, but like I think he probably should squash Orange Cassidy at some point. People love Orange Cassidy, and I think if he beat his ass, that'd probably get That probably get some booze or some shit, I'm
just ready for him
Marco
to have I'm honestly just ready for him to have a regular match at this point. Like, how many times?
True shit.
Yeah, like, Marco Stunt is not with the rest of Jurassic Express. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they're all quarantined. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the live show. But hopefully he gets them back, because right now he's just getting his ass kicked every week. Then Brody Lee, he's billed as like kind of like the leader, as the the Dark Order, but like let's get him some competition. Let's actually get him a feud, because I don't think that actually happened yet. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, and I know everything got thrown in flux because of coronavirus and stuff like that. But this week, since they are starting to go live again, and I'm assuming they're flying more wrestlers out, hopefully. Let's start a feud. Let's build up to Double or Nothing 2. Let's get Brody Lee and the Dark Order some heat, because I think since he's gotten to the Dark Order, the angle's not as good or as hot as it used to be.
Yeah, they stopped doing the vignettes. We really haven't. We just been seeing squash matches so far, and like everybody that's in the Dark Order that isn't Brody Lee, they sort of just lose. So it's weird how they do that. But yeah, hopefully stuff happens once they start going live again, or they start doing some more pre-tape stuff.
I hope. I think that the show definitely needs it, because of, like, a lot of these shows, you have like a main storyline or two main storylines, and then everything is just kind of formulaic, like squash match, tag team match, and then like two singles matches. Like, I know, like I said, a minute ago, roster constraints. You know what I mean? So these shows were taped. With coronavirus, everybody's feeling it. Like with Raw, I think if you watch Raw, like it's only a certain amount of people because like everybody can't get there for whatever reason. SmackDown, Roman Reigns have been missing because obviously, in these times he has cancer. You can't put his health at risk. Understandable. I would just like to see like AEW to kind of change it up this week, change up the format. Let's get Nyla Rose back on. Maybe her do some promos with FaceTime, kind of like what Britt Baker did. Yeah, Britt Baker, like I'm loving this character. I think that her turning heel was the best thing for her because obviously, like she was waiting in the weeds a little bit. If you listen to like her interview that she had recently. I guess it was Kenny Omega's idea to kind of turn her heel, and she's kind of taken it and run with it. Often at Tony Schiavone's expense. But
I'm sure. Hey man, you're a commentator. Like the wrestler has to go over. If I'm prioritizing anybody, I'm prioritizing the damn wrestler. This is Tony Schiavone is a good sport, I guess. But yeah, man, we need some new stuff. Flatten that curve, man, and then we can get our quality wrestling back.
Well, even with flattening the curve, like that's still like you still got to take super precautions. Like I think that like a lot of people thinking like like once summer hits or like but like everything is going to be fine. Like we'll go back to normal, and I think that it's going to be at least until 2021 springtime until we start seeing large crowds at wrestling venues again. Like I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. I think that people have to really parse them, temperament themselves to see that these shows get back to normal. I think that these empty arena shows are here to stay for a while. Like Double or Nothing 2 was supposed to be in Vegas. Obviously, they have to do something because Vegas shut down right now. Things like SummerSlam coming up and Money in the Bank. WWE has to get creative. Like, obviously, there's, videotaping on top of headquarters. And, like, SummerSlam is probably going to be at the PC. Like, this is the things that we have to really prepare for. I mean, I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to kind of like the empty arena thing. Yeah. Like I've gotten used to the echoes. I've gotten used to things of that nature where like obviously when the crowd comes back, it's going to be welcomed because I do kind of miss the whole reaction thing. Hopefully with the crowds and, they kind of do get a little smarky, I guess a little bit. They've kind of like taken a little break and then like it comes back and everybody just kind of enjoys the show. Like,
they don't know what they're, they didn't know how good they got it until it was gone. So hopefully, Full Sail could be a little less smarty when they come back and, AEW can finally, get the pulse into the heart like they used to. Like I don't think they haven't fully embraced the empty arena thing. I think they only did for John Moxley and the Hager match, but because they're still having people, jobbers or whatever, whoever they are, maintenance people at ringside. But yeah, man. Did we cover? We didn't cover Lance Archer and Dustin Rhodes.
No, we're gonna do that. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do that right now because I got some questions about what happened in that match. So,
same.
Dustin Rhodes goes for a low blow in front of the referee, and nobody gets DQ'd here. And this has happened. This happened throughout Dynamite. There was like things that happened and they just kind of go New Japan on us where they kind of just let things go. Like people are on the outside for at least 20 seconds. I mean, it's a little nitpick. It doesn't really take a lot from me, but it's just little things that I notice. What
really bothers me is that AEW, like they always run to the throw in the towel thing whenever a wrestler is getting like beat up really bad, and it's just like, do we need the the white towel to be like seen on screen to let me know that Dustin is being like beaten up very badly? I feel like we see this type of thing a little too much. Just let Dustin get beat up, bro. It's a scripted match, man.
Well, I mean, fair criticism.
I'm not buying.
I think it's a fair criticism. I went into it thinking that Lance Archer was going to beat the hell out of Dustin Rhodes. It's also a Cody angle, so they're going to book it like an 80s style angle where like there are theatrics involved.
Okay. But, like, I think being at ringside, seeing your brother getting beaten up bloody, I think that's enough. I don't think he really needed to be, there with a white towel in hand and be like, do you want me to throw it in? Do you want me to throw it in? Like, no. Like, I think the message is clear that Dustin is, like, getting beaten up very bad, and, Lance Archer is on the verge of breaking him. But, like, we didn't need to see the towel. I feel like you could convey the message just by the physicality. You didn't really need the symbol to really be there. You don't have to be so literal with it. Basically.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm with you. It's just that with certain wrestlers on AEW Dynamite or even on NXT, I knew what I'm gonna get. Like, with Johnny Gargano, I knew I'm going to get a certain type of promo. And I was right. That's exactly what we got on NXT. With any Cody angle, it's going to get booked like it's Smoky Mountain Wrestling, maybe like old WCW, where there is just like this like extra kind of theatrics on top of it. That's like how he likes to tell a story. The towel thing, I was like, all right, cool. Like, it was very Rocky IV-ish, where like it was like
right?
like I immediately thought Rocky's at ringside and Lance Archer is Ivan Drago and Dustin Rhodes is Apollo Creed, and basically Lance is beating the hell out of him. He's like, oh, throw in a towel, and of course he Dustin grabs the towel and he goes out
no,
fighting.
Don't do it.
So
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It ain't for me. Surely it works for somebody, but that someone ain't me. But yeah, man, we're gonna get Lance Archer and Cody. I think that match should be bloody, to say the least.
It should be. I mean, I don't want that match to kind of be a regular match. Like, if they're building like they really hate each other, and Lance Archer came to AEW basically as Jake the Snake Roberts' hand, there should be some brutality involved. Like, there should be some AEW gives color all the time, so there should be some fear.
Yeah, and I definitely think they should have saved that, but they gave it to Dustin because he has to bleed for every match. I think Lance Archer definitely just has like that sort of brutality, on his own. Like, every match he's very brutal with everybody he dies. His offense is very, he has the powerhouse offense. So I think even in a regular match, I think you will get a lot of the brutality that you asked for. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be some cool stuff.
So next week, MJF returns. You got Moxley versus Kazarian. And the least sex gods, Jesus, versus Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega in the street fight. It's Matt Hardy's first match at AEW. I think that being in a street fight is a way to protect him. I can't believe they're called the sex gods, but whatever.
Man, you remember when Tony Khan said this was going to be the best episode of AEW ever?
I mean, we're going to hold him to that. We're going to hold him to that. we are
No,
going
that was supposed to be. Wasn't that supposed to be this week? Or did he let the tweet off too early?
Oh, I don't even remember. Because
Oh
if
my
he
God.
was talking about that this week, I'm sorry, bro.
Yikes,
like,
brother.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. This was not the best AEW Dynamite ever. It was okay. It was good, but like I felt like you should have said that. I don't know, man. Like AEW Dynamite that doesn't have a women's match, and NXT had two. You know.
Yeah.
And there was two. No. There were 3 squash matches on it. I don't think that like this was. I mean, we said this last week. It felt like very WWE Livewire-ish. Like you know, everybody had squash matches, and then you had 3 actual matches, or Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah. Hopefully, he puts talking about this episode and maybe next week. So hopefully, next week is going to be a very good episode. I will say I'm not particularly looking forward to this 3 fight. I'm just looking forward to whatever Sammy Guevara is possibly going to do, and that's about it. But yeah, this 3 fight is definitely to protect him in that sense. And I think Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega are definitely going to like do a lot of carrying there.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that you have Chris Jericho and kind of Matt Hardy kind of brawl. That's what they're going to do. I don't expect them to kind of do any lucha stuff, but you gotta think like Dynamite's going against 2 championship matches. You got Karrion Kross, you got Finn Balor, and then surely like. You know, Gargano and Dijakovic, which I think is going to be a fantastic match, what they're going to do. So, like, if you're looking at, you know, show to show, and I'll give Tony Khan a little pass here, because if he was talking about this show, if he's talking about this week being, like, the best Dynamite ever, I understand that, you know...
I'm going to find the tweet.
Well, the opinions are the eye of the beholder, but I don't think this was it. I don't think this was it. I will give him a pass and say that the first Dynamite back, I'll apply that tweet to that show and kind of look into it, and then we'll do a little deep dive with that next week. But yeah, I think Tony Khan basically going off of what was going off with the Jaguars, and obviously the draft happened, and him kind of getting back and forth in it with a player on the Jaguars. I think they should little temperament like the promises a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, let's relax a little bit, buddy.
Like it's not bad. Like both shows, cool. I thought that both shows were cool this week. But best ones ever wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's just kind of
doesn't apply to AEW, and it doesn't apply to NXT either. I'll give them that.
Although, like, hey, listen, NXT next week might be an all-timer for good and bad, because I think that there's a underlining match there. If you want to talk before we get out of here, Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. Yikes! I don't.
I think this is going to be the first match that we get, and they play the infamous second finish that we've been hearing so much about. Dream over. You know,
listen. They said they're doing an investigation on it. I want to kind of temperament to say, like, innocent until proven guilty, but the evidence is out there. So, I mean,
overwhelming amount of evidence.
Well, I don't want to like I said. I want the WWE to complete that investigation to see what happens. But if Velveteen Dream loses here, you could pretty much find out what's going on with that.
I'm expecting the loss on Wednesday, and then the release on Thursday.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm expecting. So you know, if he's guilty.
I honestly didn't think that the match was going to happen. I thought that I thought that, you know, there was going to be some injury angle or like some Simpsons Poochie thing where like I have to go now, my planet needs me thing.
That's the second finish. The second finish is the Poochie. I must return to my planet now. I feel like the match might like end in like a DQ or something, like, you know, Adam Cole doesn't even get like a definitive win here or some shit like that, like, or like maybe Dream gets himself disqualified or some shit. You know, just something weird is gonna happen because I don't see with the current circumstances, I don't see him taking it. And plus, he said like there was an investigation that was about a week ago now.
Yeah, apparently it's still going on. I know, but with that, I know they have to be thorough. But like I said, like kind of like the evidence is out there. Wait until like WWE kind of completes it before I draw into any conclusions. But I will say that it is not looking good.
It's not looking good. And if you heard the A show this week, of course you did. It's one of the greatest wrestling podcasts. J5 basically says, like, you know, WWE sort of has like a direct line to Instagram, and then you can see his login records, you know. And if the login all says, you know, Orlando, Florida, I think he's in trouble. And I think the fact that they didn't really come to a conclusion yet, maybe it could have been like some hackery, but
I don't know. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to take anything like with underage things and like sexual assault and things like that lightly at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, believe victims.
I'm sick right now. Velveteen Dream, I'm sick, but
I'm highly like, even with say like no, like I'm still highly disappointed in him. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
and
even getting yourself into this sort of situation, like, you blew the bag.
You're like, what is he, like 23, 24? Like, you're a young guy. They're about to strap the rocket to you, putting the title on you, and you're in this, and then like you get involved and potentially or allegedly get involved in something like this. Like, it's
like the stop the horny account says, all your mistakes are because you were horny. Just stop. Just put the phone down. send your little weird tweets and then end it there. Now, you know, you have all this controversy and heat behind you. You know, you're finally going to get like a big baby face win, and nobody's going to treat you like a baby face. Everybody is basically sticking with you, you know, beyond belief. So I'm going to, you know, if he's innocent, hopefully, if he isn't, you know, get him out of here immediately.
No,
please.
Absolutely. Like, I don't think that should be tolerated. Not only with like the wrestlers, but kind of the wrestling ilk fans, or basically with performers, or anything in general. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I take things like that very seriously. Like, those are, and to the victims and everything.
And you know, that voice note, if that wasn't the final nail in the coffin for the whole thing, I don't know what the hell is going to happen here. Because, you know, we've seen stuff like this before, and, you know, whatever the outcome. But, you know, once that video came out with his voice, everybody was just like, oh yeah, you're fucked.
I just want to preface that and saying, like, I do want the kind of like the investigation, if it occurring with WWE, before I jump, you know, to like a concrete conclusion. I want that to occur, and then to determine that. But like, that doesn't look good at all. Like, especially like,
it's looking bad.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if those demons did happen, and like with those conversations and everything like that, but that's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, that you shouldn't be in a position of power where you are, where fans look up to you and take advantage of them like that. Like, I'm a music journalist, and I've seen this happen with bands and stuff like that before. Like, and the victims come out with their stories. It's heartbreaking. It's disgusting. I condemn all of that. This was. Listen, like I said, like if he loses, you pretty much can see where this is going to go. I didn't. When that happened and stuff, like I don't want to kind of like circle around like what I've already said, but like when that happened and all that stuff came out, I was expecting a release. I was expecting the match to not occur, and it may not. It may not happen. But at the same time, like, I'm going to let them complete the investigation and just kind of see, like, Thursday morning, you might be seeing, like, somebody get endeavored.
Yeah. Well, usually on reports like that, they don't even get the, wish you the best on the future endeavors. Like, I think if you read Enzo Amore's release, it doesn't say wish the best of luck in future endeavors, which I think is hilarious. But
well, I mean, he was kind of accused of the same thing. Like I don't think he wish anybody the best on that.
Yeah, so Dream's statement might not even have that. It might just say WWE has came to terms with his release, and that might be it. But yeah, man, we'll just have to see what happens next week.
I mean, we'll see. Like, we'll see if he's telling the truth. If he's not the truth, then I mean, it will be see ya. Like, and rightfully so. If it's true, like if somebody who does that and engages with anybody underage like that, like doesn't deserve the platform or to be in that position anymore. So, like, if it's true, I am 100% down with like a firing or stuff like that. If it's not true, then you gotta, go from there. It's just, I
just keep let that.
Well, I mean, like this is said on an A show, and I'm sure like talked in circles like that. It caught everybody completely off guard. Like, you wouldn't think that, like,
everybody's disappointed.
Yeah, like everybody's disappointed because Dream has a huge fan base. Like we did, like him. Like he, like said, like he's about to. You can't have the face of NXT engage in anything like that. Like it's just like,
well, you can't have anybody, getting a push, and then this sort of thing comes out. Yeah, man, it's all bad, man. It's all bad. I'm not gonna speak on it anymore, but it's very bad.
I think that we've said pretty much what we felt on that situation. Like I said, NXT will be must watch on Wednesday. To say the least.
In the worst way. Well, no. Because I am excited for Charlotte EL.
Yeah, I don't want to take that away from all the other great things that are going to happen on there. Like,
but
aside
definitely, yeah. But it definitely did take away a lot because a lot of eyes are going to be on this Dream and Cole match to see, what's going to happen.
Oh, boy, I mean, like, jeez, I don't even. Like, what do you even say? What do you even say to that? Like, it sucks. But like, believe victims, like, elevate victims, especially like when you're talking on Twitter and stuff like that. Be conscious of what you say because, like I've said, like anything sexual assault related or anything in that nature, your language could be triggering to somebody who has undergone that. Like, chances are, a few women or people in general who have undergone like harassment or sexual assault of some form. So like be like uplift them, believe them kind of, and like just be wary of what you say. That's what I'm saying. Like, just it's what a situation, man. That is our show for this week, unless you have, any final things to say.
I love Gargano supporting his queen, being out there. It's gonna get obnoxious real fast, and And if that's what they were hoping for, it's gonna be a fun time on Twitter. But yeah, man, NXT was really great this week. AEW.
I'm gonna give them pass. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna see what the live show happens. Some people are returning. Maybe they will bring back some women's wrestlers, hopefully, so we have like.
Not some women's wrestlers. They need Nyla Rose there.
Yeah.
If there's no Nyla Rose, I'm having a huge issue here. But that's all I got to say about Dynamite.
Yeah, they got to build up Nyla and Hikaru. They got to do something there, like have Nyla.
There was too much
promo.
downtime in between.
It's almost like with these shows, like the women are kind of a forgotten element, other than like the Brit thing. And although I love the Brit thing, come on, like show off your women's wrestlers, and also Penelope too, because Penelope's been there. Mm-hmm. But it's time to bring your actual women's championship back. It would be nice to see that damn belt. Yeah. As always, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts at. We have a new episode of RSPN Uncensored. Of course, they're talking about parts 2 and 3 of The Last Dance. Good episode with Dennis Rod. They highlight Dennis Rodman there. Chatting with Nelson is back. Hold on. He's talking to Shoney Patrol and Dottie Abstract. Good episode where they're talking about the New York City shutdown. It's the pandemic has hit New York City really, really hard. And my prayers and thoughts go out to everybody in New York City, even though I'm like right outside New Jersey. You have a new episode, obviously, of the A Show. They also talk about Velveteen Dream, Cain Velasquez getting released. Drew McIntyre and Nia Jax. Oh boy. Yeah. Oof. Nia.
Hey man, I watched Raw this week for the first time in a long time, and I don't think I'm going to be watching Raw again for a long time.
Oh man, the pitchforks are out for Nia, man. Whew.
Oh shit, I forgot what did she do.
I mean,
whatever.
What did she?
I don't know, man. I don't remember.
We have a new episode of Mount Silver where the boys talk about Ash and Lieutenant Surge. I'm sorry, I was thinking about
Ash being the worst trainer. Ash being the worst trainer ever.
Man, I mean, he did win like a tournament. Right? Like he finally won one?
Yeah, he finally won it like many years later. But like he's still 10. So like did it really occur many years later? But yeah, he finally won.
Oh, so he's got that Simpsons thing going where nobody ages. Okay.
Yeah, nobody ages. So like he lost at 10, participated in like 10 tournaments, still 10.
Oh my god.
So it's a little weird, but yeah. Ass is some trash.
Jamal is back with a new episode of the Big Eyes podcast, talk about Demon Slayer and the Promised Neverland. And of course, the First Responders are back. They talk about Kate Camp's new project, Kiss 5 there. I'm pretty sure next week they're also going to be talking about Drake's new project.
Nope, that is happening today.
Oh, okay.
when this episode comes out, the First Responders will be out.
Well,
they were worked fast for that.
Well, they're definitely living up to the name. I don't think that a lot of people got a lot of sleep. So, like, when you listen to this episode, listen to the First Responders and basically their takes on the new Drake project. It's a mixtape.
It's a classic.
Wow, we're giving it the classic denomination. Not even 12 hours.
That is the First Responders way. But it's a really good tape. I'll consider it a classic.
I think it's a good tape. Of course, Drake is going to have an album come out this summer, which is sad because it doesn't look like we're going to have much of a summer anyway. But you'll be listening to it on your patio with, nice patio furniture, like listening out, taking the heat in, sadly enough.
I'm out in the AMG. Hey, man. Oh, shit. Hey, man, let's wrap this up because I want to listen to it.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you next week.
New Drake, baby.